All right, so in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how you can take one product photo and turn it into multiple assets with different styles, ambiances, moods, and even turn them into quick clips brands can use for their websites, like the ones you see on the screen right now. If you don't know who I am, my name is Alexi De La Cuesta. I'm a full-time content creator, and today I'm partnering with Adobe to show you how exactly you can save hours with Adobe Stock AI Studio. All right, so here's a situation I feel like every editor and freelancer has been in. So a client hits you up, they got a product and they need content, and they send you one flat, lifeless photo, and they're expecting a full campaign out of it. And if you're going out and trying to find stock that actually matches the brand's vibe, it might be a bit of a grind. And on top of that, if the client needs different color variations, a different mood, or motion content on top of the statics, that's hours of work for what should honestly be a really simple deliverable. Now that's exactly where Adobe Stock AI Studio just completely changes the game. So without further ado, let me show you what I'm talking about. All right, so we are in the Adobe Stock AI Studio, and right before we get into the nitty-gritty of things, I just want to kind of show you or give you a quick walkthrough on the cool features that the AI Studio has. So there's a couple tabs here. We have change color, change move, animate image, and type to edit. Now, all these are very self-explanatory. So for change color, this is obviously where you can kind of change the overall look or color of your stock video or image. And what's really cool is that Adobe actually has their own presets to choose from, so that it kind of saves you time to, I guess, get that overall look you have envisioned. Moving on to change mood. This is where you can kind of change the mood. So let's say you have a very energetic or happy, let's say, image. You can kind of change it to something more dark or, I guess, moody, and it will actually go ahead and change the overall vibe of that stock image. So you can kind of see in this example right here that they're showcasing the different moods with this one photo, which is really cool. Next, we have animate image. Now, this is where you can kind of take your image and essentially just animate it, turn it into a video clip. Now, this is something that's really interesting and really helpful for a lot of creatives or even brands who are looking to turn their stock or their images that they have or stock images into something that they can use for maybe a background video, or just give their images a little more life, right? Next, we have type to edit. This is where you have a lot of creative freedom with the stock images and video. This is where you can kind of add things to the image, or you can remove things from the image. You can see from the examples here that's going to come in really handy with the type of work that we're going to be doing today. So now that you know the basic premise of Adobe's newest AI Studio, let's get right into it. So inside Adobe Stock AI Studio right now, and the first thing I'm going to do is go straight into the Adobe Stock images specifically and find the right product imagery for this client. So for the sake of the example, we're going to be working on a mock client, and this mock client is going to be a donut shop. Now what I'm going to do is type in donuts into the search bar and see what kind of images show up in the panel. So you can kind of see here there is a ton of different donut images that you can use commercially. I'm going to go around here and kind of check out and see what kind of donut image that catches my eye. So for example, right here, this one's a good one to potentially use for my donut clients. So I'm going to go ahead and download this. Okay, so this image right here is what I'm going to go with. It's clean, it's good lighting, and a good baseline on how you can kind of change up the whole image, which is exactly what we want because we're about to completely transform it. Okay, so the first step I'm going to do is to change the mood of this image. Now with change mood, sometimes it won't be a drastic change, but it is enough change to kind of, fit the vibe you're going for a little more, right? So I'm going to go ahead and click on change mood here. Yeah, now you got a bunch of different moods to pick from. Now for this donut shop or donut brand, I want to make the mood a little more energetic. And so I'm going to click on energetic here and see what comes out of it. Okay, so you might not be able to see a big difference on the change mood, but actually when you click on energetic, it's just going to slightly increase the brightness of the overall shot, increase the clarity. And there's micro contrast modesty for a crisp and dynamic feel. Now, again, there's a bunch of different presets that you can kind of pick from, but you can also create a prompt as well to achieve a certain type of mood. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this image right here where it's slightly, increase in exposure and clarity. What I love about this from a client work perspective is that I can pitch, 3 different campaign directions from the same photo, same image, whether I want to keep it as energetic or maybe make it a little more romantic, nostalgic, or, maybe I want to make it more angry. There's a bunch of different ways you can kind of pitch ideas to your client. But for now, I'm going to keep it as energetic. Okay, so the next one is going to be more of a drastic change. And right here, we're going to click on change color. And this is where brand consistency comes in, because that is generally one of the biggest pain points in client work. They always, come back asking you to match the look or hit their exact brand colors. And that back and forth just eats up so much time. So I'm going to go ahead and create a custom color palette right here. So for this donut brand, I want it to feel a little bit more loud and energetic. Okay, so I actually went ahead and did a different color palette, one that has more yellows to have that more summery vibe to it. And look how different this is. Now, you might be thinking this is a little too much yellow, but that's okay. We're gonna be changing up a few more things in this photo, but this is kind of exactly the vibe I'm looking for. It kept the structure of the shot, it kept the cup, but the entire color story is really different, right? This is the before, where it's kind of dull and more of a corporate kind of vibe to it. But this one right here is a more summery look. There's also this one I generated earlier where it's just completely a lot more yellow. But I'm thinking, I might be using this one too. But I think for this example, we're going to be using this one. So now I could technically send this to a client today alongside the mood variations, and they've already got like 2 different directions to react to. By the way, this is the same exact stock photo, seconds apart. That's kind of the speed that makes you look like you've got a full team behind you, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and save this. And now the next thing I'm going to do is change up the whole style. And this is where we're gonna do type to edit. So this is where you can really be creative with your photos, right? Because sometimes the client, they don't want just a color change. Obviously, they want the whole image to feel a little more alive and a little more realistic, maybe have a few elements of their brand or product in there. So we're gonna go ahead and add a few more things to this image, which we're gonna be doing through a prompt on type to edit. So I'm thinking add a red frosting on the donut, add some pile of strawberries in the background. And next to the donut, let's see what it comes up with. Okay, boom, right there. This is exactly what I want it to be. Adding simple things like strawberries and turning the frosting red to represent that it is a strawberry donut completely changes the vibe. It's not just a yellow image, and now it's added a little more summery tones to it by just adding the strawberries and turning the donut red. And for the grand finale, we're going to animate the image. And this, ladies and gentlemen, this is the one that gets you the most bang for your buck with clients, because every brand right now, again, like I mentioned, needs motion content, whether it be for websites, ads, social media. They all want something that, moves. And before, that meant a separate motion designer, a separate timeline, and a separate budget line item. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this final image that we've been working on and switch it to resolution 1080p. Let's see what this does when I hit generate. Okay, look at this. It just took that image and it turned it into a motion clip. I kept it simple. I just did a very slow dolly forward, as you can see in the prompt here. But the point is, there's actual camera movement. It looks like it's being filmed in a real space. Now you're delivering motion content on a photography budget. And that is a legitimate reason to charge more for your packages. You're generally delivering more value and it costs you almost no extra time. So that is the animate image feature that is built into the Adobe Stock AI Studio. All right, so I actually took it a step further, and in the prompt, I just simply put have a hand grab the donut. Now this is a little bit more complicated, and when I hit generate, the result is absolutely mind-blowing. So check this out. This was the original image, and when I hit generate, you can see a hand comes in and grabs and holds the donut. And so you have more options than just adding subtle camera movements. You can actually have more complicated animations like a hand grabbing your object, right? So that's something really cool there. So just to recap what we actually built here, I went into Adobe Stock, pulled one donut photo. I used the change color to apply the exact brand palette or to change up the whole overall vibe to it. Used the text to edit feature and added a couple more elements to really sell the story, and then used the animate image to turn the final result into a motion clip the brand can actually run on their website and add. So you got multiple assets, multiple moods from just one photo, which can be done in just a couple of minutes and not spend hours and hours on production. And that's why Adobe Stock AI Studio is genuinely, one of the most useful tools I've added to my client workflow. And so if you want to try it yourself, the link is down below. Go check out Adobe Stock AI Studio. If you're a freelancer, an editor, or even a content creator doing work for brands, this is the tool that makes you look like a full-blown agency. See you in the next one. Peace.